What's up, guys?
Great showing.
What's up, Justin? What's up, Jordan?
What's going on, gents?
Hey, Steven.
There we go. Okay, so we'll do our usual. What's up, Brandon?
Hey, Brandon. Long time no see, man. How you doing?
Let's see. Let me get the footage
Yo.
up. All right, cool. Let's get into it. This is footage from this past Monday. I think that was Eric immediately going in on the guillotine on me.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, man. No, this season has been extra bad, it seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Eric is the one without the American flag shorts. Kale has the American flag shorts on.
Gotcha.
Good deal, man. Can't wait to see you. So Steven and Jordan in the top.
Yeah. Caleb and Cole. And yeah, this week continued our side control sprint. So Eric's he's actually putting to work something I went over that day at class. The entrance to the reverse triangle from the top position, and then switching off to a side triangle, which he did. And we got Braden and
Cooper and
here.
Yeah.
With Braden working a good 2-on-1. What's up, Andrew?
What's up, Andrew? Who's that? Joe and who? On the left.
Maybe Justin?
It's Justin. You're right. Yeah, I remember.
Just want to look at Cole here with Caleb. Cole does a good job here, or he's done a good job recently, of recognizing when people are really committed to this like closed grip, whether it's around his waist with the body lock, or whether they're on top and they've got like the crossface arm in, connected to their underhook arm or whatever the case is. But he does a really good job of keeping an eye on that and recognizing the fact that they've given up their base there, especially as long as he keeps their arms tight to his body.
So Cooper. Okay, well, Cooper's got a really nice transition going here with Braden. So Braden's winds up in a guard here, right? And Cooper has this inside bicep tie, and then starts collapsing over top of Braden's left elbow. Okay. This is an interesting position because we normally do, we normally say like, don't pass without the underhook. And I would say that's a really good, of course a very good general rule, especially with a knee cut. But the position that Cooper finds himself in, Braden almost has his left arm trapped up underneath the chest of Cooper. And Cooper has the elbow trapped on the far side. So he actually does a really nice knee cut here, but watch what he does with his weight. Like he actually shifts his weight as he comes over and winds up clearing this. Yep, he clears and gets the underhook back. Now Braden fights for it immediately. Which is good on Braden for understanding that that's where he needs to get back to the battle. But in that transition and him starting to, heist his head up off the mat, Cooper slips in this reverse triangle that you taught in class earlier that day.
Yeah, and he skips a step I went over, which isn't a bad thing here because he didn't really need to do it. But like using the arm, like it would be his top side arm, or in this case his left arm, to like pummel the head down between the legs as you step over. But he doesn't need to. He catches Braden kind of leaning up into it. Now he switches off to this side triangle. And for those wondering what the difference is, if you missed class, the reverse triangle, the I always struggle on what word to call it, but like, the strangle leg, the one that's typically in contact with the neck. If it is in contact with the neck in this configuration, it's a reverse triangle. If you switch your legs, kind of like how you do from a front triangle to a wrong way triangle, when you're in the reverse triangle, if you switch your legs, that's what puts you into the side triangle, where you no longer have the hamstring up against the neck. You've got, instead, your quote-unquote strangle leg is curling under the arm, hooking under the arm, just like Cooper's got here. I hope that clarifies it a little bit. What's up, guys? Just in time.
What's up?
And then, so let's see what he does with it. Let me hide the chat for a second.
Braden looks very composed here. He doesn't look like he's recognizing that there's a danger.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see flailing about, right? He's trying to protect his arm, and really it's his right arm is there for the strangle, and his left arm is in danger of a Kimura.
Yep.
And Cooper is astutely challenging that. Look at that. That was nice.
Yeah. So here Braden locks his hands together, yep. And that's going to take away the immediate Kimura threat on either arm. Yep. Remember, you have the near side Kimura. So in this case, Cooper could, if Braden's hands were not connected, Cooper could go to the left, Braden's left arm, hit a Kimura if he came up on top, and then otherwise on the far one, there's that like sneaky one where I talked about, if their arm is out in front of them straight and bent, all of a sudden that range of motion is very, very limited. So that would be the attack on the right one. But with Braden connecting his arms, staying composed, getting his back to the mat, really, really putting a good fight up to get out of this. And props to Cooper for like immediately putting to work what we went over in class. I love it.
What's up, Caleb? In the meantime, with this battle, we've got Gavin who wound up catching Kale, and I want to see how he caught him into that triangle. Oh my god, into that triangle.
A triangle or?
Katagatame, arm triangle. Sorry.
Okay.
So it comes in.
Does a little Caleb takedown.
Yep. So he's trying to get. He's working his body positioning. So he's going into the Kazura Keisagatame, but then as Kale starts bridging up to get his elbow clear, Gavin switches his head to the outside, uses his head to pin the far side elbow up high, uses the left underhook, jumps over, and sits down into that Katagatame.
Yeah. Very nice.
Good job.
And meanwhile, see, we got Caleb trying to stop Cole from passing. Cole up to a very high mountain, slips off Caleb out the back.
And Steven, it looks like Steven's trying to set up a no-gi Ezekiel on Jordan. And Jordan is really giving him some big bridges here in the top underneath the clock. Yep. So Steven's doing a really good job here of the crossface, but like getting the crossface and getting Jordan looking the way that Steven wants him to look, not the way that Jordan wants to look in order to use his body, right? Like wherever our chin goes, wherever we look is where we're strongest for a bridge, right? That's the direction where we're strongest. So you generally, when you're in top mount, you want to have the head looking away from the bridging hip, I'll say. And here, Jordan's able to get up underneath. It looks like under an elbow. I don't know if he's using his elbow to bridge up. Yeah, it looks like he's using his elbow here. Strong bridge, but good maintenance from Steven to try and hold that mount.
Yeah, and so it was really good disruption on the submission. The next thing you're going to want to think about, right, is you've got him off balance like this, kind of scrambling to get his mount re-secured. You need to start looking for ways to get your hips out and away from him. You've opened up all this space in this direction, so that's where shifting your framing arm down to his hips is going to be really important here. That way you could keep him where he is while you shrimp your butt backwards, allowing or creating space and allowing you to get your knees back in. Otherwise, you know, I'll take disrupting a strangle or a submission and just getting safe. Like that's good, or it's good enough. You can get more out of this though, and work your way back to a regard or, you know, a sweep or something. Right here, instead, Steven's able to kind of stay composed. He stays on. He starts to get the underhook again. Now you're back into a pretty rough spot. So start stringing together. You know, as a white belt, you're going to want to think a lot about, I would say, escaping to guard as your priority. Like, first learn how to do that. Learn how to get safe. Going back to a closed guard or an open guard. You have the makings of the escape here, so you're just going to start to add on to that. I think he ends up getting like a katagatame here. So either way, like I said, good start. You're just going to have to work on building to that escape to guard.
And I want to also call out how Steven, you know, and you can do this intentionally or just happy accident, right? But Steven's setting this katagatame up, or winds up setting it up from the bridging motion of Jordan, right? So the fact that Jordan is bridging and getting up to that elbow, what that does is it disconnects his elbow from his side. And whenever that happens, right, you'll see Steven's right arm shoot down into that gap in order to snag the elbow here and start walking it up, right? So now Steven, by Jordan giving that big bridge, and then Jordan again, you know, per Matt's comments here, not getting immediately under to start attacking Steven's hip, you kind of let it linger out a little bit too long, and then that gives Steven the opportunity to start digging and isolating the arm to secure this katagatame. So good, like great use of, I'll call it like stressing out, grinding out your opponent on bottom to try and make them, you know, give you these big bridges. Good bridge, right? And we'll work on shoring up the frames after the big bridge. But, you know, again, great use of the big bridge in order to secure and isolate an arm.
Just wanted to shift focus real quick to Danny and Josh here too. So Danny's up in Kesa, not the Kesa with the far side underhook that we were going over in class, or the side crucifix really, but there he steps over, gets the setup for the reverse triangle from mount. We all know how much Danny loves his reverse triangle, and I think he commented to me at the beginning of class that he's not used to setting it up from mount, so this was, or I'm sorry, from top. So this was a somewhat new entrance to him, but I think he took right to it, as evidenced by the tap. I did say in class, however, though, a lot of times when you're in that mounted, or the top position, there's a good chance you're going to get rolled over to a supine position, which is what happens with Danny here. Danny already has good finishing mechanics with the reverse triangle from bottom side. Let's see if we can. It's going to be hard to see. He must have had a really good crank on it in general. But this is that moment I was saying where the knee of the strangle leg should be below the ears to ensure that you're getting the tightest possible choke you can.
There's so much going on here, but now back to Cooper and Braden. Okay, all right. I didn't know if Braden was going to get to this knee, but Cooper starts attacking Braden's leg here, and he's leaving his legs out a little too wide, and immediately Braden is jumping on that right leg. He still has that underhook, so it'd be interesting to see. Yep. Okay. So now he's coming to sit back in. Okay, and he winds up getting to the regard. Well, I mean that's a heck of a lot better than being stuck on bottom, Braden. So that was at least a good use of an attack to get back to a regard, or back to a guard position. Caleb is laying on some nasty pressure on Cole here for this pass.
Yeah, he is. You just can't get that leg free. I think Cole saw the clock and knew he had some time, so he put the squeeze on the leg. Caleb leaves him hanging. Because God blessed him with that beautiful body to just weigh heavily on you, you know?
Cooper with a knee pick. Wow.
He missed it. Yeah.
Snags it.
Steven and I had another flurry of a match. Caleb fighting for that single on Danny, but Danny had a good sprawl out of it. Terrible takedown attempt on my part.
Looked like you were trying to throw him, but...
Yeah, I think I was. I can't remember exactly what I went for here. I had that overhook on the elbow.
You were probably going to go for the
I got my leg in. Yeah, I was kind of going for an Uchimata, but
yeah,
looks like my leg slipped. Like my right foot slips.
Yeah, you're trying to pit. Yeah, yep.
Or maybe
went down.
Yeah, I don't know. That was garbage. Yeah, dude, I hate when that happens. Like, that's one of those uncomfortable moments where you don't want to call time when your eyelid gets like rolled up. You don't. You don't want to call time, but like, you just feel like it's gross because there's just someone's sweaty rash guard on the inside of your eyelid. And you're like crying because you have to blink so much.
Yeah, well, I mean, and then like 3 minutes of the 6-minute round later, I'm still thinking that my eyelids flipped up. It just still feels funky, you know? Like, it just, yeah. No,
oh my God, I'm going to get pink eye from Caleb.
Yeah. Pinch headlock, straight into, into that, the shoulder crunch. You're getting to your side, trying. Yeah.
Yeah, Steven's become notoriously difficult to shoulder crunch now.
It's happened. Never.
Yeah, like I almost get it, and he hip switches very well here as I try to take him over, and I invert to stay in guard. That was a bit of a quick guard retention move. Just slow it down for a second. So as he crosses into, or he goes to side control, framing on his hips, following him up, I think I get my, I'm not sure exactly how I did this, to be honest. He may have actually helped me here, how we were connected. Like I just stayed real tight with the hip. There, my right knee gets in, and then
Yep. I think you track him with your left knee, and then your right knee finds its way inside.
Yeah, I really didn't want him to pass. Coop again going for these triangle variations.
Yeah, he seemed to dig it during that class.
I should. He's another one of the people gifted with long limbs.
Like a body lock. Looks like he's got your left leg shelved. He's past it.
I think I'm in half guard actually.
Yeah, now you're back in half. Yeah, he wound up getting caught in half guard.
Steven did comment to me that I've been shutting down his body lock passes a lot more lately, which is purely the result of him body lock passing me way too much. So, honestly, my entire focus there is typically controlling the head. Like, I'll try to sit up if I can sit up, like if I can hit that forward shift and start looking for guillotines. I'll play around with that to try to get them to move, create space, and I can, disrupt their grip. But really from here, it's keeping their head on the same side that I believe they're passing to. As they go to make their final approach, if they get that far, it's framing the hip, doing everything I have to do to regard, inverting, rolling away, whatever. I hate body lock passes. People get them on me way too much. So I really just try to frame as effectively as I can.
So that was a good use of a long hook by Steven to keep your body, your hips contained. So he comes through, comes here. He can't get it, but he uses his right leg to almost stomp down onto the mat, right? And what that's doing is, you're obviously battling that hand fight right now. You want to make sure that your neck is safe. That's a number one priority. But another thing that you want to do is you want to start, now that you've got the hands out, you want to start shifting your hips towards the screen here, right, or towards the camera. And with that back heel that he's doing on that right foot, makes it a little bit more difficult. So it forces you to start rolling to your right hand side. And when you start rolling to the right, it unweights the left leg of Steven and gives him enough room to get that other hook out and in.
Yeah, he was doing something really good here too. Once I feel like my hips have movement, and for all intents and purposes in this moment I thought I was about out. My next goal is to get my elbow to the ground between us, and watch just how much he controls my elbow and doesn't let it get to the ground. Like, he completely prevents that while he's using his legs to recapture my hips. But he knows once that elbow slips out that I'm out, and he'll have to transition to mount. So he does a really great job controlling my arm there to prevent me from getting my escape, which I eventually get. And then here I think he knows I'm either going to play with the false reap stuff or look to get to cross Ashi one way or the other, so he sits back heavily.
That was another good transition. Caught back in half guard, but he loses that underhook. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I've struggled a bit with the shoulder crunch from this position, like where I have half guard, the underhook, and I set up a shoulder crunch. My initial, I shouldn't say my initial, the only thing I can think to use this for from half guard is he pummels his arm over, and now I can, if I time it well and control it well, I could control him, or I could expose his back because I have two arms on the same side of my body. Here he elbows back towards his hips, and gets his arm free before I can do anything with it. But if I don't have like butterfly half, I feel like I can't play that typical shoulder crunch, like the usual dilemmas we play around with when we're there. Good, at least I tired you out.
I think Cooper is trying to heel hook Kale.
That's Kurt immediately went over.
Knee bar.
Get
Yep,
something.
he gets the knee bar. Caleb's doing a really good job of isolating the right arm of Danny. Bell saves him.
Oh yeah, he's in the top mount.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
I like that I could see the timer on this app.
Yeah.
Android for the win.
So we got Josh and Cole. We got you and Cooper. Gavin and Braden again squaring up.
Yeah, Cooper brought the intensity in this role.
Good.
Yeah, the level of intensity we were trying to pull out of him at a couple Saturdays ago. He definitely took it to me.
Oh, and then me and Caleb.
So Josh, see how Josh got to that Kimura. Was that Josh or was that Cole? Okay, that was Josh.
Nice.
Good recognition. A general rule, especially one to follow at white belt, a hand on the mat is the sign of a very vulnerable arm. Josh recognizes that. Good little shift there. Nice. Good stuff. Cooper with the straight ankle on me. You and Caleb?
What's that?
You and Caleb did that?
Yeah.
Oh, is that how you called him out silently?
Yep. And then he immediately passes my guard.
Some heavy collar tie-in from Gavin here. Waiting for one of these two to take a shot on each other. Cooper putting what I often preach to you guys to practice here. The sweep never ends when your opponent hits the ground. It ends when you get up and take top position. So I was very happy to see that.
Yeah, so Caleb, I didn't watch this this straight ankle attempt. So Caleb actually starts to get I shoot up into this Ashi position. He's doing a really good job of trying to get my left leg out from between his legs, so I can't really make any sort of connection. So he winds up picking up this almost like a cross-side grip, but he has the straight it has the straight leg. So you were talking about how you had like a cross-side straight ankle. You actually have a same side straight ankle with a reap. So so let's watch how this kind of plays out in a little bit slower. So you have the straight ankle grip here, but you've almost, what I would say is when you lay this reap in, this is heel hook. Like this is heel hook territory for you.
Both your legs crossed up there?
Do I? I think I do.
Yeah, he's got your ankles crossed.
Yeah, so I've got my feet crawl. Oh, and that's another reason why I wasn't feeling any pressure on the
Wait, where's that?
no, that was his arm.
Oh, that was his arm. Okay,
That's his arm.
I got you.
Sorry. So I come through. I'm not really feeling very much pressure here from a straight ankle, and so my right leg immediately is diving over. I'm going for my own heel hook here. But what I want to point out to you, Caleb, is that if you would have let go of this straight ankle grip, right, this rear naked choke grip, and gone for the heel hook, I would have been severely threatened. My heel was exposed. You know, like I was in bad shape here. But instead, your left leg is, you know, your left knee is down on the mat. So I push up your leg and I hook up a heel hook of my own here, and that's when I get the finish for the heel hook.
Nasty.
A lot of leg lock battles come from, like, especially if you go with a counter leg locker, it's who has the most dangerous heel hook or who has the most dangerous attempt on the leg. And for here, you know, like maybe my ankle would pop if you had a really good, you know, a really good grip. I didn't feel the pressure. But if I have to choose between an ankle pop or a knee pop, somebody's going to prioritize a knee pop over that, right? So I'm normally going to get the tap from a knee pop over the ankle.
Yeah, you have to severely threaten Mike to get him to tap to anything at all. So.
Yeah, possibly.
You're just perched up on him now?
But wait, there's more.
We're gonna zoom in on this for a second. I think I know what I'm making our thumbnail. See how we got here. So did you just... Okay, so you're playing Neon Belly. I got you.
Yep. So I'm playing Neon Belly, and some people opt for, like, you know, attacking the turtle and trying to get the knee out. I don't know. Every time I try and go for a good grip on Caleb lately, I get rolled.
Oh, sure.
Well, so I'm just playing this out to see how it's gonna go.
Surfing.
And
you're up here for entirely too long. Can't believe Caleb let you do that for that long. And you're still going. It's like, you know what? And then you're like, what? Tell me. That's it. Is it?
That was a fun one.
Let's see if we miss the twins getting anything. I think they go off camera here. Oh. I'd like to see how that finished. Get the front headlock.
I think Gavin gets the...
Yeah, I believe he's in mount right now, yeah.
Yeah.
And even Cole's body surfing right now, taking a page out.
He is, yeah. I'm really liking seeing that. I mean, we went over it. Hang on, we went over some body surfing stuff last night with Neon Belly, right? Like,
so more legitimate use of it than what you were just degrading Caleb with. Like, actually,
I mean, it was
actually,
legitimate.
like, I mean, it worked. It got you to a rear naked strangle. It looks like, but like, actual, like how you move around the person, you know, in various pinning positions.
Exactly. It's kind of like when you watch Jeff Glover with the balance ball, right, or the stability
Yeah,
ball.
right, right.
You know, I think that's a skill that you can learn and apply that in a lot of different positions.
Yeah. Cooper has a really nice entrance here. Almost for a second looks like he's going for the dummy sweep, but pulls his legs in, sets up his ashi,
Very nice.
hits the sweep, and then in a move that I'm sure would make you proud, stays on the straight ankle lock here on the bottom side leg,
Oh yeah.
which um, again, we're getting into the nuances of the children's tournament competition rules. You may not be able to hit straight ankles on the bottom leg. I don't remember. Maybe that's like, I feel like I've heard that somewhere.
Hmm.
Maybe it's some
Oh,
IBJJF thing for like white belts or something. I don't know, but yeah, you've made a few, Caleb. I should have kept track when I started putting them up on YouTube. All right, we got me and Andrew, Steven, and Braden, I think. Yeah. How did I get Andrew down? I think it was just a foot sweep. And while we're here, that foot sweep, that really just comes from Andrew being a little too upright here. That where you guys shut my foot sweeps down. Normally, it's just from like poor setup on my part against a more appropriate fight stance, I would say. So when I catch you guys in these little like split second moments where your posture's upright, maybe we're resetting, maybe I'm not pulling down on the collar tie very hard, so you're like resetting to a bit of an upright position, and then I go in and hit a quick foot sweep. That's what that's coming from. So when you're down in more of a, doesn't have to be as extreme as like a wrestler's fight stance where your head's real low, and your hips are back far, but there's kind of a middle ground between upright and that I think you see in jiu-jitsu a lot, and maybe even judo, but that's kind of a different story. But that's how a foot sweep like this can come about, just from being a little too upright for just long enough. Groupers 14, knee bar and straight ankle are allowed. Okay, cool. I didn't know if they made a distinction between like straight ankles on a bottom side leg versus a top side leg. I feel like I've seen that somewhere, but again, this is, I'm not totally clear on it. If you can do it, awesome. And I'm happy to see him doing it here.
Yeah, for Naga, it's just the reaping leg that they worry about. So you cannot reap over for the straight ankle.
Okay.
Which I think is, par for the course.
Yeah, I would hate to see kids getting injured for reaping in
Yep.
local tournaments, or any tournament for that matter. Doesn't need to happen.
You with Andrew? Okay.
Yeah.
You got Jordan and Josh.
Yeah, and Andrew, I remember early on, like maybe when you're first, it could have been your first class. I talked to you about your stance, your foot spacing, all that stuff. It's something that maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say you still need to work on it. We weren't standing long enough for us to for me to draw any good conclusions from it. But remind me at class to just like show you a few little pointers, make sure that you're standing in a good posture for jiu-jitsu. I think when you started, feet being too wide was the problem. Make sure you haven't like overcompensated. And that was just regular front triangle.
Jordan, I'm curious to see how this is going to play out with Josh here.
Might rip his head off.
Yeah. Okay, that's kind of what I felt like a response would be. We can go over. I think one thing that we should really emphasize in some of the next lessons that we do is the front headlock position. I think there are definitely some nuances to this with the submissions. But yeah, so, I mean, I guess in general, Jordan, anytime you're trying to strangle somebody from the front like this, you have to be aware that you have in this particular instance, you have no control over Josh's hips, which means that Josh can literally just front flip over top of you to relieve any type of pressure, which is what he does right here. Just dive straight over, right? So there are ways to configure your legs in order to prevent that from happening, and we can go over that in class. And Josh, this is a very good side control position. You look very stable here. Okay, but yeah, Jordan is able to burst out. I think the transitions that we've worked on this week can help with that. Good Kimura.
Yeah, I didn't see how that ended. Okay. Yeah, very similar to the one he was working on with Cole earlier. Well, before I talk about this triangle, Josh, and Jordan, seeing you go for that guillotine or the, it was an arm in guillotine. Josh, seeing you, at least this night, gravitating to Kimuras, this could be a good time for you guys to start thinking about, what sort of offensive moves, what sort of submissions and sweeps you're starting to gravitate towards. Maybe Josh, you're finding more success with Kimuras. You for whatever reason, you like the mechanics of it, they work well for you, whatever. If that's the case, even though your white belt defense is the important thing to focus on here, you can start kind of cultivating a little bit of a curiosity about these submissions and start planting the seeds of these specialties that are gonna come up later as you get deeper into blue belt, deeper into purple belt, and next thing you know, you're winning all of your competitions with a really great Kimura from any position, or hitting headlocks from everywhere. That's this is where that starts. So think about that. And if you just got lucky tonight with 2 Kimuras and you actually hate them, then that's fine. Keep an eye out for other submissions that you gravitate to. So with Andrew, I had to switch to this side triangle, and I went for the finish on the far side arm. So working from, I don't think I could get to the position I wanted to. I was trying to do the position that we worked on that night, the side crucifix.
Mm-hmm.
But I step over, kind of get myself into more of something more akin to what you'd see an arm bar come from. But I slip. You see, I don't sit back to my butt to try to take the arm with me. Put my right hand behind him, and I slip my right leg back and under his head. And that's what puts me into the side triangle position here. What you couldn't see is that I had my left leg, my left foot in his armpit during the setup. I'm not going to do that without that first. You could kind of see probably the moment I decide to go for it. When I get my foot here, that's when I say, all right, I can hit a side triangle. So I hug the arm with my left arm, base with my right, and then slide my right leg through. And then as quickly as I can, connect my legs. I grab the tricep to keep him from elbowing out. Andrew's broad shoulders, I'm short legs. This isn't a good position for me to strangle, but I use it more for the control. So it's a way we see Danny a lot of times using like his reverse triangle when he can't necessarily get the angle he wants. Similar to the Kimura trap, I kind of push Andrew's hand back into his stomach to get him down here, and then start focusing on making sure I have control. I think I tried the triangle, play around with it here, not feeling that I got it. So you'll see I go for the far side Kimura. And right about here is probably where it would really start to hurt me. I don't know how, I didn't want to take it too far with him. You could see just how little range of motion the arm has here. Once I get control of the arm, very slight push. You don't want to crank this on your opponents, and he taps me. So Andrew, that was a bird's eye view of what we talked about after the roll, and something I hope that I made clear in class. When you can't finish the reverse triangle or the side triangle, you could still use that position as a great attacking position. Trying to get butterfly hooks in. Oh, with the front headlock, I think.
Gavin and Cooper in a battle with that rear. So I want to kind of go through all of this
From the armbar.
Armbar. Cooper does a fantastic job of keeping that arm across the body, long legs, right? Like, wow, very good transitions here from Cooper. And composure from Gavin, right? Like, Cooper's throwing a lot at him here. So it goes for this scarf hold type of position, right? Which is kind of basically he's trying to knee cut pass without that underhook. And Cooper recognizes that he has a back take opportunity. So let's look at this hand fight. Cooper is doing he's very, very aggressive up top. Not really taking any control over one of Gavin's arms, okay? And what that's doing is that's allowing Gavin to fight back with both hands at the same time, right? So it is now a 3-on-2 battle, right? As Matt often talks about. And, we talk about it like from Danaher and Gordon Ryan. Gavin has 3 opportunities to defend the strangles here. He has both of his arms, and he has his chin. He can tuck his chin. Whereas Cooper only has 2 methods of attack. His left arm and his right arm. That's it. So Gavin's doing a really good job of keeping his chin tucked and shoulders shrugged, but he's also doing a fantastic job of not only pulling down on the arm, but constantly twisting his body to start rotating out of the strangle. So he's trying to get his shoulders down to the mat in some capacity here, right? So his hips and his shoulders are going to start to turn, and he's going to start pushing the arms away in order to create some space and eventually get out of this strangle. So let's see how it plays out. So again, beautiful, like opportunistic. He feels like Cooper lost the strangle, has no control, and can rotate and get back into the guard position. I think this is a really good, person under pressure, and keeping their cool and working on stuff that needs to be done right in the moment.
Yeah, this battle against the body triangle too is a real pain. And I don't know if Gavin, I can't remember if you've been around when I talked about this during like a back control class, but you did this really well. It worked out for you whether you knew it or not. When you switch sides on the body triangle, so taking the lock that's on top, which is typically where most people put it, you can turn the other way, put their lock on the bottom, and what that does, especially against long-legged people, is it creates a little tiny gap under their knee. A little bit of space, a little bit of daylight can come through here. And where there's daylight, there's room for you to move. So when you got his legs to the mat and gravity did its job and it pulled you over the lock of his legs. It gave you a little bit of space up top, just enough that you needed to be able to rotate out of this. So you can see he plants his foot here, starts to rotate back towards Cooper, and has all the room he needs now to actually rotate. Whereas before, when the lock was on top, he wouldn't have had that luxury. So he takes advantage of the moment when he gets there and gets safe. So that was killer battle from both of them.
Yep.
Coop's like, oh, I got 40 seconds.
Dude, and
Maybe
Cooper's
I can do something.
long legs here. He's just got so much. He can exert so much control. So Gavin, when you're going with somebody who has much very long legs, posture is gonna be the make or break for the role between you and Cooper here. If he can break your posture down, he can do whatever he wants. He can control your body in a lot of different ways, right? So your focus against a long-legged opponent like this is to always make sure that you control the posture game.
That was such a great roll, right up to the very end. And then meanwhile, Josh over here on a triangle against Jordan. Just want to look at this setup. So Jordan's got his arm isolated. Josh recognizes the opportunity. I think Jordan hit his arm because he didn't want to get Kimura again. But good work from Josh there to get the leg over the shoulder.
Yes.
Josh, a little tactic here, or technique tip maybe. Grab your shin. It looks like you're about to do it. I would grab your shin, and then this foot steps on Josh's hip to like help cut your angle, rather than trying to lock things up now. You're gonna benefit from cutting your angle first before you lock up a triangle or anything. And I would grab the shin with this arm. That way you're not like reaching across the head or up over the head. Grab the shin with that arm and then step on his hip with your free leg, cut your ankle, and you'll be able to get to that triangle pretty easily. Because right now, like you're cranking down on your foot, it's not the best connection you can make. And you could probably squeeze the crap out of somebody with those ham hocks. That girthy neck.
Yep.
What's up, Mitch?
What's up, Mitch?
Yeah, Josh, I don't think there's any reason you won't be able to lock them up. I'll show you what I'm talking about at class. Please remind me. Look at Cole working a false reap. Bro, I never would have expected this out of him. That's awesome.
Nope.
And then switching to the far
legs.
Yeah, that was great.
It's all right, Mitch. We still got I don't know, 60% of the stream to go over.
Yeah. Braden, look at that leg entrance. Damn, it was quick.
Kevin about took my arm off with that one. I'm like, go slow with the shoulder, and then bam, snaps it.
Oh,
boom.
Well, don't let him catch you there. That was your fault.
I know. It's true.
100%. Let's see if Cole pins this leg, steps over it. It's gonna be. He doesn't have like a good body lock grip here. I don't know if I would advise that. really just going to put him in a position to be elevated.
What just happened with Josh and Caleb? I missed that. We got so many people on the mats. Siri can't even understand it. I can't even concentrate on the number of people on the mats here.
Yeah, no. Caleb just working. Was it before this or?
I don't know. Josh just like stands up.
From here?
I don't know. Maybe.
The Makikomi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was just a roll, and they just wound up standing up.
Steven, nice entrance.
That was a beautiful entrance to the knee bar.
This bottom half has a underhook on the far side, not a deep one. Slips in. And then look at that. Yeah, good knee push. Gets Cole off balance with his knee shield. And the cross shoulder post. You could see him we've talked a lot about that recently. I think in some of our after open mat chat sessions, but the importance of that cross shoulder post that Steven's doing to get Cole off base here. Once Cole's head is more over this leg than this leg becomes much lighter, and which, you know, Steven just takes it and completely manipulates it because he's gotten all of the weight off of it. Rolls with it. Cole couldn't get there in time. That was sick. Down to shut down my attempted shoulder crunch. I brought the knee close enough to grab. Yeah. Well, that was like basically the dilemma I think you and I talked about the other day, like a few weeks ago, rather. The shoulder crunch to the deep half. You know, they cross face you back to the shoulder crunch. They rip their arm away back to the deep half. Really, really happy to see Caleb prioritizing these deep, debilitating underhooks from mount. That's going to take his mount game to a much more effective level. He got the straight arm there. Kale not standing, denying takedown points for Braden.
Oh, rolls.
Braden's just attacking legs nonstop. So Steven's in on this Kimura with the leg traps. Okay.
He's going for the head though now.
Yeah. I'm waiting to see Cole's hands come up over the back and hit that sweep that he likes to do.
Yep.
He's got his hook. What he doesn't have is one of Steven's arms taken away to base. As soon as you notice, as soon as Cole connects his hands, Steven disconnects his own and puts his hands out to base. So he feels Cole's hands connected. He knows
he feels threat from there.
Yeah, he knows it's coming. But now, I mean, Cole had Cole had a double underhooks there, but I don't think he did it. He had enough. He didn't have like a good lower body connection to take advantage of it.
Yeah. I mean, with the double underhooks, I feel like Cole was maybe trying to do an elevation there, which, again, with if you had some butterfly hooks in, then you have an elevation attempt to try and go into legs or whatnot.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I would be trying to shoot my hips out in order to start using those underhooks to attack either getting to a top position or coming around to the back.
Yeah. Mitch and I up by the TV. He immediately he started off this round like triple clubbing me in the head and then going in on a single leg.
Good.
Yeah. And Joe and Cole, which I was told was an entertaining match from both of them. Tight connection up top from Cole. Let's get that sweep. And Mitch, I hope you're. So I put you in a couple of these arm bars. I hope you're feeling your way through these as far as like which ways you can go, how to get yourself out once your elbow's safe, of course. It's all good. I mean, deep submission escapes are always something to work on, so we can take a look at some of that. Speaking of, I think one of the twins has you in I think Braden had you in a reverse triangle there, yeah.
Yep.
That was solid.
Yeah. So Braden threw that up actually from bottom position. And it was really good. He just wasn't able to get his knee below my ear like you were talking about in class. So you see how his knee is above my ear. I don't really have very much strangle pressure there. So the attack would be, trying to go towards the Kimura on the far side arm. So he goes for the standard triangle or mote, comes around. I come around into a north-south. He immediately inverts and then gets into this reverse triangle position. I do a little helicopter, come back down.
Just to show dominance. Go back to something in a second. So Cole had a really good opportunity to take the back for too long. All through, well, okay, I guess Joe got a leg inside. See, I feel like right here, I'd like to see Cole prioritizing his back take a bit more.
I agree.
He was probably saying something really funny though. So
just ask him to tell it again.
Focus was
second time's always better.
Maybe if we start talking smack about him, he'll start chatting. By the way, switch. Yeah, that was So I didn't talk about it for too long just because we were running out of time and I wanted to show a lot of stuff. But yeah, the hugging the waist from the bottom it's an important part of making the shift that you need to make to finish the reverse triangle from the bottom position. So yeah, I'm glad he picked up that little detail. The hug's important, but so is the hip shift.
Braden went for the outside heel hook as well on me, very tight.
One of these. Oh, Yeah, Cole muffles Joe here, I think, and then Joe retaliates. I don't know, at some point. Did we already miss it, Joe? Yeah, Braden's got those leg entrances fairly
Yeah, he's got
automatic
him
at this
down,
point. Yeah, nice backside heel hook. Good good pressure there, Joe, coming up, rolling through that. That was one of those cases. It wasn't quite a shoulder push, but it was definitely a similar mechanic where you could just kind of sit up through your opponent and get the sweep. I think I actually do a shoulder push on Mitch here in a second. And I talked about that. I can't remember who it was. I think maybe it was Josh. Or no, I think it was Andrew. So Andrew, if you're watching, for exactly what I was talking about with you with the shoulder push. So notice Mitch's weight is over my it's over my hips, right? So he's not pinning my shoulders, and his head is all the way across my body. So I have an opportunity here to hit this shoulder push. That's, I think, a pretty like it's a core heavy sweep. Like you definitely got to crunch your way up into it, but it's super effective. So you can see I just with my right arm make a little V grip right into Mitch's armpit, my thumb up in his armpit. I do a very straight arm. My arm is not bent at all. And you can watch my left arm doing the backstroke I talked about, where I take it back, get up onto my elbow, and I push Mitch off of me as I sit up and continue to just slowly walk my hand up until I'm much more upright. I win the head height battle, and I could get the sweep. So in full speed, it's embarrassingly effective. Like when people do it to me, I just know I messed up. I was just in a very poor position. Yeah, Mitch, it's an excellent sweep, man. I definitely I love getting to use it when I can. And then Joe, yeah, I saw you, Joe, setting up. So you don't have the same configuration. Like you can probably see now, this arm would need to be between your legs to hit the reverse triangle. Doesn't mean what you're doing here can't be utilized in other ways. You could actually step over. You could step your left foot to the far side arm between Cole's arm and ribs and start setting up a side triangle, essentially. Did I say that right? I think, yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. As long as you kept his head in the mix, obviously. But looks like you get a little overextended here.
Muffle exchanges.
Little muffle exchange. Joe picks his nose there for a second. Gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, it's not an oil check.
All's fair in love and jiu-jitsu. Mm. Except for a lot of things.
Single digit manipulation.
Yeah, really just that. All right. All's fair except for single digits. Yeah.
God, I want Eric to break Caleb's arm so bad. Like real life. Just compound fracture, bone out the skin.
Then you have to explain that.
So Josh, something you can start feeling for. I'm glad you didn't do it just because there are like 2 kids rolling behind you. Well, 1 kid. As
Great.
with your with your feet on Andrew's hips like this, as you push into him and try to push him away, he's probably, the way he's leaning, the way he's connected to you, he's most likely going to try to push back. And that's where you can take, like, maybe instead of using this grip on the leg, you can reach up, grab a collar tie, pull his head lower than his hips, and like kind of pull him over you, and basically hit an overhead sweep where you can take him up and over. The big takeaway there is that, when you push somebody, most likely they're going to push back, whether they mean to or not. It's almost kind of instinctive. Take advantage of that reaction, and when they push back to you, keep them going. And this is a good opportunity to do that.
Hale is doing a really good job of employing some good guard passing here, right? So, you see he's going for, like, trying to get Steven's ankles pinned down, above his head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a great thing to do. But you also see him do something really interesting, which is he gets behind Steven's hips here to block him. So just go like a little bit further back, just so you can see when he releases the grips on the ankles, and he gets up behind Steven's hips.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Kurt, since you're on here, one thing that the boys can start doing is employing the tight waist grip. Okay, so you can see here that Steven's just inverting, right, in order to get back into the turtle position. He has opportunities if Kale starts stepping backwards for whatever reason to start going into the legs and hitting a takedown, double leg, single leg, whatever, ankle picks, all that stuff. But if Kale were to start taking a staggered stance here and, just for instance, taking his left arm and threading it through the inside of Steven's hips here, he has a tight waist, and he can start rotating around the body and pinning Steven's hips down to the mat. It would be an interesting thing to teach the twins here, because they do find themselves in this type of position with me when it comes to guard passing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that didn't make sense, Kurt. We can talk about it next time we train together.
And you're not letting Josh go anywhere.
Oh, cool. Great, Kale. And if you need any help with it, let me know. Cooper's being very aggressive with his guard pass.
Cooper?
Yes. I definitely like the intensity with the guard pass, but if Cole were giving it, the old college try, right? If he were going 100%, there's a lot of that momentum that you can start as a guard player. You can start to use against the guard passer. So you could see that at the beginning of this guard passing, right here is fine, but Cooper's head is always beyond his knees and hips, which means that's where his body is trying to go. So at any time where Cole would have a knee or a leg in between him and Cooper, he has sweeping opportunities, elevation opportunities, and I would just be very wary of like a very forward pressing style of guard passing, unless you have your frames and everything very strategically placed.
Braden falls into a good knee bar on me. He has to make a little adjustment here. So as I go to invert, he stands, grabs the leg, and goes, but he leaves this leg on the outside. And Braden, I know I corrected you about this, but keep that in mind. Pull that leg inside between my legs to really trap my hips right to there. There you go. And then he goes up to the top of the end of the lever, puts the brake on. Joe looking fancy, spinning around into reverse ashi against Josh.
Into the knee bar.
Knee bar extension. Knee bars abound tonight.
So now he's passing. Okay. So another clear exception to the rule, right? So we've talked at length about doing this knee cut pass without the underhook. Now Joe doesn't have an underhook explicitly, but Josh is very committed to the right hip or the cross hip of Joe here. And what this is doing is it gives Joe the opportunity to kind of come up underneath the elbow. Okay, so you can actually see Josh's right hand clearly across his body. And then as Joe comes across for this knee cut, what I'll call it a knee cut, it's kind of like a knee cut. He's using his body here to block the right elbow of Josh. And this is what makes it okay for this pass.
Yeah, I think in the case we saw earlier, as well as this case, the common thing, it wasn't just that the passer didn't have an underhook. The defender also did not have the underhook. Like
yes,
we saw. I think Steven's arm was like chicken winged, so he didn't have the underhook. Josh doesn't have it either. So, what I guess like a better way to state the rule that we talk about with passing before having the underhook. You don't want to you don't necessarily want to pass if you don't have the underhook, but you really don't want to pass if they have the underhook.
Yeah.
So yeah, like both. It's funny that we saw that twice tonight. But that's why these passes were successful. The person getting their guard passed didn't have an underhook to counter with. I would still advise you guys to set up
100%,
your underhook from top position.
Yeah, we are by no way condoning passing without the underhook, right? Like it's not. It's just that there's a time and a place where you're able to do that. Darce is a good example of when you would pass without an underhook, right? Watch Danny pass guard. Passing through submission, right? You don't necessarily have the underhook on that. There are times. But yeah, get the underhook. Nice crackdown. Or half Nelson. Power half. By Braden.
Yeah, I really like that. I feel like we've told them, a few little tweaks to make to their game, and they've like immediately implemented it. Power half was one of them. Now we're just
Cooper's transition there on the back was very smooth. Keeps Cole rolling so that he can get his trapped hook in, right? That's nice. Braden again on the backside.
see what Steven did with the guard here. Okay, it looks like Caleb just lost a leg.
Is that what you're doing with Josh, Joe?
It's a trial from Turtle. Oh, the one we talked about last week. I think that was... Oh, yeah, right here.
Yep.
Yeah, he's keeping his hands connected.
So this is exactly how I ended up at the tournament. Guy came up and I shot in for this in when he was trying to stand up, and it kind of went the same way, right? I wound up slipping off and coming back into a guard position.
Yeah,
it's very similar to what I did in that last Naga.
Steven hits a bicep slicer, apparently.
Damn.
Much to Caleb's chagrin.
Oh, yeah.
You don't see those too frequently. When you do see them, you typically don't see people tap to them, Caleb. I'm just kidding. Tap early, tap often. Yeah, Joe, I think the only reason you didn't end up getting that triangle entry was Josh kept his hands together, and then when he had the space, he eventually went out the back.
Josh has the dominant position here. Joe has gravity on his side.
He doesn't have a leg.
Yeah, he did, and then it slipped.
Going over this. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, from I think standing versus seated, jumping over the knees right into mount. It's just dangerous, man. As you guys get more and more used to leg locking entrances, all it takes is one knee inside when you attempt that, and you put yourself in a very, very vulnerable spot. So that's why you typically don't see us doing it to anybody past, white belt. Like, I don't think I would try that against you, Joe. I'd have to really tire you out before I thought about attempting it. Joe again looking for the knee bar. I think that little spin around entry is working well for you. So here you're hitting it from a standing position, which isn't bad. If you're stable, I'd say go for it. Just I would say remember to practice it from a kneeling position as well, like a tighter half guard position, like when you can't pass, when you can't get your leg free, but you're chest to chest, they're flat on their back. Get used to setting it up from there. What will happen, or what won't happen, is this: what's currently happening to you. That Caleb caught you in that step over. From a flattened out position, he can't catch you there. It looks like you're no worse for the wear at this point, so. Joe transitioning. Caleb staying really, really good here. Caleb rolls through, keeps his leg safe, gets past the knee bar pressure, and then plants his foot. Joe, to combat this, remember, you're not going to dig your way out of this just by ripping on his leg. Point your knees to your right. That can sweep Caleb. Yeah, that's probably going to be your only option unless you manage to switch your legs. But I wouldn't switch my legs here because he has his hands like on your knees. So as soon as you unlock your legs and try to switch over, he's just going to push your legs down. So I would say don't just try to like hip up towards him. Point your knees towards the double doors in the back to put the threat of a sweep on him. If he starts to fall over, he's going to base out. He puts his hand on the mat. You may be able to then switch your legs if you remain standing and then go right in on the heel hook, or continue through on the sweep. All about angles. Yeah, it's not a fun spot to be. Braden with another knee bar.
Yep.
Love it. And Cooper working Kimura on Steven.
This guy's he had his hands switched.
Yeah.
Do that. There you go.
Andrew has almost, could have turned that into an anaconda. Not that big of a deal, though. I would also use that position. That's, just standard front headlock position. I would use it to either transition to the back. That's like my go-to from there. Anacondas and darces aren't really my game. Eric on his patented step over armbar against Cole. And Kale getting one on me. Actually, I think Kale had a... What was this? I think he had a nice transition through some stuff here. Maybe I'm thinking of a different role.
I think Braden hooks up Yep, he hits a Darce setup on me here, coming around. So instead of hitting he's already behind me, right? So he goes ahead and shoots his right arm through and locks up a Japanese necktie, basically. Cracks me down, and then able to put me on my back again and get into some really good attacking positions here. Damn, look at Cooper shooting right in.
Yeah, fell back on the straight ankle. Thought about the heel hook for a second. Yeah, Joe, you messed up by letting Caleb get there.
Normally, we want to be on top.
General rule. I got Gavin up in the top corner. I got Steven and Eric.
The eyelid scenario, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see Gavin fully going through the setup here. So this was the side crucifix position we went over. Pummels my head through, sets up for the reverse triangle, and then Just like we went over at class, reaches for that leg to try to shut down my ability to roll, turn, create angles. That was very well executed. And I take exception to him using the moves I taught against me. Josh just blasting through. And Gavin, what I said earlier about the body triangle that you escaped against Cooper, notice here, my lock is on top. You go to switch. I switch my legs too to keep my lock on top because I don't like giving that little bit of space. What I give up in doing that, though, is a very good opportunity for people to turn their hips. Like in the split second that I decide to switch my legs, that's an opportunity for a lot of people to escape. I do it because I hate having my lock on the bottom. It just puts too much pressure on my ankles and it's uncomfortable. So I switch my legs, but it is a problem sometimes. I think Gavin got a heel hook on me there. Caleb feels lighter than usual. I don't know. I don't know about that.
You didn't feel lighter last night?
All of you feel heavy to me, so.
Or Monday, so.
It's like when it's 30 degrees outside, but it's been 25 for the last few days.
Still cold.
Doesn't feel warmer to me. It's still cold. All of you are heavy. Curious what Josh and Caleb are trying to do here.
Cole's trying to hit that triangle as well on Andrew.
Settles for mount. And then look at that, using the thread of the Americana. Damn it, Cole. Just as I was giving you props. Using the thread of the Americana to set up an underhook. But then he gave the underhook up.
All right, boys. Yeah, Merry Christmas. There is class on Monday, normal schedule. Yes.
Yeah, Luke sent something out, I think, so. Take it easy, guys. Enjoy your holiday.
Later.
Meanwhile, Andrew not giving up the underhook, but making a little too quick of a transition to that armbar, just giving Cole the opportunity to take top position and escape. Great trip from Gavin there.
It's on my list too.
Bam. Rear Toshi. Andrew, it looked like you tried to wrap up Cole's head there and then immediately thought better of it. Just putting your arm too far away from your body, and then you decided to bring it back. So it's good thinking. It's the makings of catching your own mistakes. Next, you do it before you even make the mistake. All right, this is the last round. Yeah, of course, man. looks like Steven is playing that one, playing Elizabeth Clay's game where she like grabs her feet.
Oh yeah.
keeps the legs super close.
I'm training with Joe.
It's all right, Mitch. We all look terrible by the end of the night.
Yeah. My hair's always frozen.
Especially Caleb. His hair is always the most frazzled. And Danny's hair smells like taquitos.
And diesel fuel.
Yeah. Diesel fuel. Well, I mean, it's from where he cooks his taquitos. Hell yeah, is there any other? What happened there with you and Jill? Oh, just a little.
Oh yeah.
Little wing sweep.
So that's I kind of like, I really like that exchange. So he heists up on me, but I wound up having the overhook here. And as he's coming in, you'll notice that my left leg is trapped in between his legs, right? But I keep it there. I'm not trying to get it out. The reason is because I can use my left leg to hook his hamstring. So when he starts driving into me, I fall back and I turn it into a Yoko Sumigashi, or like a reverse hook sweep. This way.
Yeah.
Elevating pretty high and then able to come back up on top.
That was nice.
And the reason I can do it is the overhook. If I had the underhook, it's actually harder to do. Because I don't have the trapped arm, right?
Yeah.
You can base out.
Yeah, I mean, you probably would have responded with a back take or something from there, or your own like knee tap double.
Right.
QT. I don't know. Danny might have words for you. You think if we did like a taquito flight, Danny could tell you where they came from? Like a blind taste test.
As long as he had a energy drink of choice for him right now.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll just say like a Bang to cleanse his palate.
Yeah.
What'd you get on Joe?
A smother.
Oh, so mean. Oops. Joe almost into his backside, but you get your knee free.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm doing it by, pushing on the ankles to try and slip the knee line. And he does. He has a grip underneath my left leg here, but I was taking the instep of my my left foot and making it very difficult for him to extract my leg. As a result, I go to a weak side half guard pass, back into the mount, and then I'm back into the same um, really heavy, miserable top game that I was playing here.
Just want to take a quick look back. Mitch and Cole, I think, went off screen here for a little bit. Just didn't get to see all their round. Yeah. Cool.
Good job.
Another great night. Another long
Yep.
stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of good examples today of when you can break rules and when the rules maybe don't even necessarily apply. Any questions you guys have, as always, bring them to class. Let us know. We could talk about it. Anything we told you to bring up to us, please do at the next open mat.
Please.
And we'll be sure to knock some stuff out. And yeah, just with the holidays, I forgot what Luke said about the schedule, but I think check Instagram, probably check your email. We'll see what the holiday schedule is.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Yeah, and as always, please follow us here if you're not. If you like what you're seeing, you could subscribe, help out the stream a bit. You could support us over at coffee.com/mobjj as well. Open mat on Saturday, no regular classes. Is tomorrow still on?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, tomorrow is still on.
Yes. Anyway, yeah, follow, subscribe over on YouTube as well. And I think that's about it. If I don't see you guys, because I'm traveling tomorrow for a few days, so all roll safely, enjoy your holiday, and your time off work if you're getting that, your time out of school if you got that, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Happy
Merry
Hanukkah.
Christmas if we don't see you tomorrow.
Yeah, what else?
Happy Hanukkah, Kurt.
Anything else? I don't know. I think that's about it. Cool. All right. Well, trim your nails and do your laundry and don't be stinky. And we will see you guys either at the open mat or in the new year. And yeah, sorry if it isn't obvious. Next Sunday, no stream. Next Wednesday, I don't know what day next Wednesday is. Maybe. I don't know if I'll be back yet. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah.
The
Anyway.
28th, I think, right?
Yeah, 28th. I don't know if I'll be back on the 28th or 29th or what. Playing it by ear. But cool. All right, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Enjoy your evening. We'll see you guys soon.
Later.